My name is Jennifer Bickness, and I have two children. I have an older son who is 12, and then I have Malia who is 9. My background is in education. I've been teaching for 15 years, so I have a lot of background in education and learning and brain development and things like that. When Malia was in first grade, 7 years old, I began to notice when we were reading at home and working on different homework or literacy projects that she was given from school, that some of the basic sight words, like for example of, the, was, seemed to be difficult for her. They would be roadblocks within a sentence. And so I would provide her with the word, and in the very next sentence, should the word occur again, it was like it had never been presented to her before. And that was my first kind of initial indication that something was working differently for her. I think being able to name it was really helpful. It was very difficult for me at first when I first realized that a word like was didn't stick, and I couldn't understand why, and I could feel her frustration, and I felt so almost helpless, and I felt bad for her because her level of frustration was increasing. And I think that's what happens as kids get older. The differences are more obvious to them, that they're not matching up with what their peers can do in the classroom, and I could feel that and she could feel that, and I just wanted to be supportive of her and try to help her through that. I think that one of the most amazing things is on that 5th day to sit and watch Malia read and get stuck at a word, and then be reminded by Tracy, okay, cover that up, do you have your helpers? And then to uncover that word and read it like it's the most familiar word, like it's their name. It was almost magical, you know? It's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is real. This is really happening. Like I could see it in Malia's eyes, you could see her brain thinking, and then you could see the joy she felt in being able to work through a sentence. It was almost like a relief, like an understanding of how her brain works and how cool it actually is, how she can see things in totally different ways from, you know, the majority of the population even. And there was like a self-awareness that changed her own personal perspective on what was going on with the struggles that we were having. Tracy is so gentle, and she really allows your child to lead the process. I think oftentimes kids that feel different don't feel empowered. They don't feel like they have any control over what's happening. And so when they come here, they're completely, you know, empowered by what Tracy is doing, and they understand that they do have control over how they can process their environment around them, whether it be social, emotional, or academic. I would say if your child is struggling with reading and the typical things that you would normally think of to try to help them with that, the typical interventions, if those things aren't working, then I would really recommend looking at Minnesota Learning Solutions as a help for you.